Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dice Commando YouTube channel. I'm Andrew, with you here as always. This is the Commando Cast, a video cast about all things Star Wars Destiny. This video and others like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. Please show your support with a like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any new videos. If you want to get involved with the channel, consider becoming a channel member. There are many benefits to channel membership, including access to our Discord, exclusive deck tech and strategy videos, and the opportunity to help create channel content. I want to sincerely thank all our channel members, as I truly couldn't do this without your support. You guys rock. Go Commando. Hello everyone, welcome to Dice Commando and the Commando Cast. I'm Andrew with you here as always, and it is January 2021, which means we are less than 1 month away from the release of Redemption, Set 12 for Star Wars Destiny, coming at you from Renewed Hope Committee. So we've already seen 2 sets of spoilers, one's from our friends over at EchoBase, the other from our friends over at I Rebel. That's what I wanted to do today, was just dive into these guys and see what we're looking at coming at the end of the month. Hey guys, thanks for joining me again. Now, before we get started, I have to actually make an apology and a retraction. In episode 141, I was talking about a member from EchoBase who had made some changes. I mentioned that was Mark Lockett, and that was incorrect. It was actually Mark Logie. Not only am I apologizing for getting that wrong in the first place, but actually when I was doing the editing, I even caught that I didn't think that was quite right, and then I actually didn't do my due diligence of going back and checking on that. And I feel really bad about it because Mark Logie, you and I have exchanged multiple PMs, and I am really sorry for making that mistake. So I want to not only take the time here to correct that and apologize, but also make sure that everyone understands where the credit is due for all of the work that you had done, getting the Faltering Allegiances stuff, and getting the SWDB really ready for that. So please forgive me, and thank you, Mark Logie, for doing that work. Also, next set of business, tonight's cast is sponsored by Nature Calls IPA from 10 Barrel Brewing out of Bend, Oregon. It's actually not sponsored by them, but that is what I am drinking tonight because I kind of thought that was inappropriately appropriate, given the news we recently got from Wild Horizon, right? It's a green can, Nature. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that's what we're drinking tonight. So let's get into this. So we have a total of 6 spoilers that I want to go through tonight. Like I said, the first 3 we'll go through came from EchoBase. This was actually just before the Christmas holiday, and then we got a set last week from our friends over at I Rebel. It is highly likely that by the time this cast goes up, it's not highly likely. It's possible by the time this cast goes up, there's another set of spoilers out there, but we'll cover those when we get them. So let's go ahead and go right into this now. The first card we saw, well, I mean, they dropped as a set of 3, but I mean the big one was the title card of the set, which is Redemption. Now, Redemption is the medical frigate. It's the Rebel medical frigate we saw at the end of episode 5. So let's go through this bad boy. So 4 cost Redemption, 2 gun, 2 focus, 2 shield, 2 resource, and a blank. Now that is a bummer, especially considering a lot of the 4s we're seeing to have a blank. But this card does not disappoint, right? It's a support vehicle. After you activate the support, roll 2 set aside medical droid dice into your pool. Set those die aside after they're resolved or removed. So the quick and dirty comparison here is the Mega Blaster troopers. I mean, I think that's fair. Actually, real quick, one thing I do want to point out: the spoilers we got from EchoBase had XX down in the bottom. All 3 spoilers we'll see we have that, which does imply that while they're spoiling the card itself is final. That does mean that the set itself is still in flux, which makes sense. They were at least a month plus out at the point that they spoiled it. But I wouldn't read anything more into that. So back into this guy, I don't know that, that this is better than, well, I mean, it's not better than Megas in terms of what it does, but it always rolls out the second die, and its sides are better, right? It has less blanks than Megas, so, and it's a vehicle, for whatever that's worth. Of course, the die aren't troopers also, and then of course, both of them roll. Remember the roll-in rule, that even if this gets blowed up, the medical droid dice would stay in. So this is very interesting. I think it's hard to put this one into context early, but I think it's a very cool card. Now, I will be, the set aside zone thing keeps coming up. It looks like that's going to become more of a thing going forward. So we will make sure to. I've already been in contact with some people over at ARH who are going to help me make sure that we clarify fully the rules around the set aside zone, just because it's starting to get murky with some of the cards from Faltering Allegiances we saw, specifically the plot and some of the rules around there. So we'll make sure that we have a full cast explaining the rules on that before we get into it. So Redemption, like I said, it's the title card of the set. I think it looks pretty cool, but I think it's really hard to put into context for now, right? I mean, if you compare it up to something like an Admiral, it looks bad. If you look at next to Megas, I think it looks good. So a lot of different things there. I guess we'll just have to see on this one. Next one, this card is really good. Really good. So this is Dak Ralter. So just remember, this is Luke's co-pilot on the Battle of Hoth. 2 gun, plus 2 gun. Shield, resource blank. 11 health, character pilot. Does have piloting. After you activate this character, move 1 shield from a card you control to another card you control, or give 1 shield to one of your characters. This bad boy is 12-15. That's right, 12-15. So he basically has Jin's die. Is actually arguably better than Jin's die. Only 11 health, but again, he's only 15. So I think that's kind of on par there. So he has, a pretty decent die. His ability, I mean, we'll touch on piloting in a second, but the ability to generate 1 shield per round, I mean, that's something reminiscent of what we saw on Legacies Obi-Wan. Conclusion here, the high-level conclusion here, looking at this guy, is just really freaking good. I think he'd be really freaking good even if he didn't have piloting. But he does. So very interesting there. So what's kind of interesting is, I assume he knew how to fly something, but he was technically a gunner, right? But I mean, that's totally neither really here nor there. But I mean, the basic thing to go with on this guy is you pair him with Red 5 Luke, and that comes out to 29 points, 1 for DDS, and boom, you actually have a playable DDS deck. DDS being, Destroy the Death Star, right? So I mean, it's a very real playable deck. Now, we've lost a couple key players for our on rotation. We lost a couple key players on that deck, notably like Resistance Crate Resistance Speeder, whatever it was. I'm assuming that they're going to backfill in this set. I mean, I would be shocked if we didn't see some sort of snow speeder in this set, right? I mean, it seems to be Hoth themed, or I should say, it seems to be at least Episode 5 themed, or at least so far. But with this guy, I'd be shocked if we didn't see some sort of snow speeder, right? Oh, here's hoping for my boy Wedge, right? Good old, what was he? Was he Rogue 2 or 3? Oh man, somebody's gonna rip me up for that. I even used to have that Decipher card. Oh man. Alright, so going to the last of the EchoBase spoilers, it is Small Battles 1. Now this is a 0-cost event. Resolve one of your red dice showing a value of 1 without removing it from your pool. This card is really hot. I saw somebody on Facebook pointed this out. I mean, I didn't catch it right away, but you can actually use this to turn Padme's 1 focus into a 3 focus. Now, do note this doesn't have ambush, so right, that could be removed or whatever. But that one's just kind of funny because it's, you turn a 1 indirect into 3 indirect, or a 1 focus into a hell of a lot more than 1 focus, right? I think this is just a functional card. We'll have to see what else is in the set to see if it's worth playing it. I don't know that right now it is worth playing this card. I mean, again, it doesn't have to get removed from your pool, so you do almost like it on like a resource. You like it on. It's don't get me wrong. Hitting for one and then hitting for one again doesn't suck, but this is probably more useful on like a focus or a resource or something like that, for sure. I mean, I just functionally, I would say. So we'll have to. I think we'll have to see. I think this card is decent. I think that it just matters what else is out there, right? Because I think this falls into it'll go in your deck as long as there's not something else better. So I think we'll have to see where this falls. All right, so our next set of spoilers. So we just saw red spoilers. Our next set of spoilers are coming from our friends over at iRebel, and there's some doozies. So let's just rip off the band-aid and go right into the big sexy, or what I think is big sexy. This is Leia Organa, Adept Student. 11 health character apprentice for 12 of 15. So she's a middle. 2 melee, 1 shield, 2 shield, resource, and a blank. Whoa. I mean, that, though, like, don't even read her stuff. Like, that's a good character. But character apprentice with Guardian. And after you activate this character, reveal the top card of your deck. Give a character shield equal to the cost of that card, right? So as already pointed out in their article and sensed by multiple people, remember Guardian is an after activate ability. They stack, so you get to choose the order. So you bring Leia in, you look at the top card of your deck, you give her a shield, and at which point you can decide maybe if you want a Guardian or not. Right, and actually it's not even her. I just said her shield, but it's a character shield. But what I'm saying in this is you would decide whether to give her that and then take the hit, right? I mean, and Guardian is potentially the best we've ever seen it, or I should say positioned to be the best we've ever seen it, with vibro swords flying around like crazy. Yeah, then you take a 0. You take a 0 that resolves as a 2, but it's a 0 when you take it. That seems pretty good, right? So, I mean, Leia is hash pound amazeballs, right? She is really, really, really good. I know that some of the talk out there has been her with Anakin, right? Transformations Anakin, because she can basically come in, put a shield on him, he deals the 2, net no damage, just for having a 1 on top of your deck. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I mean, the fact that she's middle opens her up for just a bajillion different pairings. I mean, it would be a disservice to go through all of them because there's so many. I don't hate her with Rey, right? I don't, or best friends forever Rey. I don't hate her with that. And Cal, like, I mean, I guess we're going through all the pairings here, but with Cal Kestis, right? One of the problems, like, I wanted to put him with Mace so bad to get the stuff on it, but she almost does kind of the same thing in that she helps him stay alive a little longer to get loaded up. So I'm wondering if her and Cal is not good. And then I did see something tossed around on the Facebook, and I don't know if this was a joke or not, but somebody was saying her was Saw. And I actually don't know that that's the worst idea I've ever heard. It doesn't sound like a great idea, but then when you start thinking about it, you're like, well, okay. Because my theory being that it's a build around, you could like play some high cost cards in there, and I don't know whether it would work or not, but it's really an interesting theory craft concept. I think Leia is. We could probably spend a whole cast on this, so we won't. But I think Leia is really, really, really strong. But moving on to Luminara Unduli, Patient Master. So Luminara, like let's do a quick flashback to the old Luminara. Just never got, like, she was a really cool character, just never worked, right? But this Luminara, on the other hand, 1014, Before we go into the rest of it, 1014 is exceedingly important in blue because it can pair with Mace friggin' Windu from Convergence, right? I'm not saying necessarily that this is the best combo, her and Mace, but a 1014 Jedi, right? And I should clarify that blue statement with Jedi. But a 1014 Jedi with Mace Windu makes what we've kind of been waiting for a long time with Mace Windu. So Luminara 11 health, 1014, 2 melee, only 1 damage side on the surface, 2 melee, 2 shield, resource, special blank. Each apprentice you control has +1 health. Okay, now do keep in mind that's like the same as like the Tarful effect, where if he goes down, the Wookiees lose their health. If she goes down, the apprentices lose their health. So that on the surface isn't that great. But her special, choose and do 2 of the following. We like flexibility, especially on our specials. Discard a card from opponent's hand, give a character 1 shield, roll an apprentice die on one of your other cards in play into your pool. Now it specifically says other cards in play, not other characters. I don't know if that's relevant or not, but maybe, right? So, I think most of the time, and again, there's a lot of options here based on what we see with apprentices. Like, in Infinite, she's looking pretty good actually with the Padawans, like the OG Awakenings Padawans. Kind of low health though, because they only have 7 health. But I don't know. This is pretty exciting. But if you're playing with Mace Windu, right, you're probably just discarding and giving a character a shield. But let's put this in perspective. Wizened Yoda, he had a lot more options, but he was a functional toolbox for a long time. And now, granted, he had no blank side, but he kind of did with his disrupt anyway. But it wasn't actually a blank, which does matter mechanically. So we'll see if she kind of fills that same slot. But man, that guy was a toolbox character because he gave options, and she's doing kind of the same thing, and she still has base damage sides. But no focus though, and actually countering myself here, that was that was undoubtedly the best part about Yoda, was his focus into special chaining. So take that comparison lightly. All right, so last card, which is relevant, especially for, at least in this conversation, Luminara, for being 14 points with the middle, is Jedi Code, which is a 1-cost plot. Include only if each character on your team's Jedi or Apprentice. Okay. Action: exhaust this plot and remove one of your dice showing a shield to remove an opponent's die showing damage. That seems pretty good. It's not. It's not amazing. It's not like broken good, but it seems pretty utility for our Jedi characters. Who else? Leia. I guess we have the pair we just saw. Leia Luminara is not awful, right? Because going back to Luminara, she has, and I guess she only has 1 shield side, but Leia has the 1 shield and the 2 shield side. But again, it doesn't have to be a character die, right? And there's no lack of shield sides for blue heroes. So that's, the 1-cost plot, I think, functionally really helps them a lot. But as we always say in early spoiler season, we're gonna have to wait and see what else comes. But I can't get away from the 2 main characters we saw, like Leia. We'll look at her right now, and then I'll put up Dak right now. And these guys are pushing the limits for sure of power curve on what we would have previously thought would be okay for middles. And there's a lot of really exciting stuff here. I think Leia's the one probably that a lot of people will go with early. She looks real strong. But I think Dak's pretty good too, and it's not just in that Luke pairing that we spoke of. him with yellow, like Dak with yellow seems pretty. Yeah, Dak with yellow seems pretty crazy with piloting. Mean Streets is a thing, right? Mean Streets was Convergence. Han, right? Han's 13. Yeah, Dak seems pretty good. +1 health every round that you can keep the guy alive. Yeah, very interesting. I don't know. All right, so anyway, very exciting, very, very exciting stuff. The wheels are turning. The wheels are turning, but we don't have all the pieces of the puzzle yet. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys are thinking about these guys. I can't imagine people aren't excited about Leia, even just from a flavor standpoint. And like I said, Dak's looking real strong too. So just a reminder that we have, only a couple weeks now. 29th is when Redemption is coming out. Thanks to ARH and our friends over at EchoBase and iRebel for sharing all of this with us and letting us talk about it. Again, let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. If nothing else, guys, go Commando.